And we were at yesterday. I mean, all-time highs up here, so I didn't really want to force anything up here. But I mean, obviously, it did reject. What was NQ doing? NQ was just selling off all fucking. SPY was doing the same. VX was breaking previous day's highs. One thing that Carmine did mention about this session and previous sessions, he said he never used to pay attention to this, but he's realized that these limit orders will appear and then disappear, but then the market ends up rejecting it. I had walked away, so I got these flat lines. I don't have everything. But you can see here, they're heavy. Actually, this is prior though. But he said that they appear and then they disappear, but the market still rejects it, and he uses it as a valid limit order because of the way it's stacked and the way the rejection occurs when it retests that area. But he said it's something he's only realized recently. It's not something he's always used. For like 8 years, and there's still things on Bookmap that he's learning.
I bet, bro.
That's
Unless
crazy.
he takes the time to like dissect every little button for hours.
That shit scares me. I'm like, fuck, I don't know shit.
But think of when you started and how much you know now.
Oh,
I don't know shit.
really quick, go back to that book map. Look at that thing we were talking about right before it hit 630. Look at the little volume number. Rewind it before 630. So look at those high
225?
bars. Those are like that's the highest volume so far, and it's only 225. And then
Market
630.
opens,
Boom.
100, 700, 900.
It weirdly went to 700 to 400. Did you see that? And then back up.
Is it
Wait.
1,000?
If it's relative to each trading session, then how are we gonna establish a baseline?
I think it's one of
That's
the
what I'm
last
saying.
confirmations. I don't
That's
think it's the
possible.
main confirmation. Because I'm looking at a
It's
screenshot.
something that has to be reviewed every day, I think. Just see how it changes.
When we get to the 24th, are this the 24th yet? No, it's the 23rd. So this one was the day where there was like no volume. We at 7:15, I wrote down that we've only moved 9 points.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But 1,800 it changed though. Did it change on this?
How long will it take to get to that 1,800?
1,200 right there, and then 1,600 on that aggressive push.
And then you just see the volume bar is higher than the previous high volume bar. So that's what makes me believe it. But you're seeing the red line, but to me, the red line stays there. It's the volume that gets smaller.
Yeah, the red line.
Like all the bars around it will shrink themselves. My bad.
The red line what?
Never moves. It always stays there.
I've seen I noticed. Yeah, I noticed that, but it is you're right, Eloy, the price is changing though when I saw it on that dip. I just don't know if it's like, because I don't know, I don't know how to use it.
I mean, on the next day I'll show you my trade and how I used it. I used it because my winning trade that I took this week, where Eric said that's not our setup, but there was like something here, and like I did see something where I have to show you the screenshot, but you just see all the volume kick in at a time where it broke through support. So to me, that was like aggressive volume, letting me know, oh, I think the sellers are going to remain strong here. And then throughout the day, that's the highest volume we see when price goes back to test that same area. The screenshot
Bro,
will
you're gonna
explain it. Yeah, the screenshot will explain it more. I wrote something like that.
I was gonna say, I don't know what the fuck you just said.
just explain it to us.
I just got to end it by saying, right?
So this is the test of pre-market low here. First test. This shit sold off all the way down to this zone here. Oh, I think it pops up again though. 749. Still above pre-market low here. We should see those orders appear. Oh, right here. So these orders start appearing uh, stacked up like that, and this is the shit that Carmine says he's been seeing lately.
He's been seeing them because we're in a downtrend.
What do you
The
mean?
market shifted. I've been seeing a lot of divergences, bearish divergences.
But he's pointing out that they disappear and it still gets respected.
I
So
just
it's
noticed
still there.
that red line's not even there right now.
But it's still in that number is still where that red line would be.
Yeah.
Fuck, of course, it fucking.
This is where it broke.
Yeah.
Is it the same day? Must have been done by then.
Oh no, I think this is. I stepped away here. I probably went to go take a shit.
Dude.
Okay, look at here. How
yeah,
it disappeared. They disappeared, but price still keeps rejecting that area. And he's saying when this happens, this still can be a valid area. Obviously, you'd want it to be your zone, but it's just something to know. Like if you see limit orders and they disappear and price is still resisting it at your key zone, then it's still a valid area to short.
Dude, now everyone that disappears, I'm gonna fucking take it.
No. They have to be stacked like that. Like it's not just one that appears and disappears. Like it has to be heavy orders. Like if you've seen prior to this, you can see on the COB how heavy the order. Like look at how this sticks out compared to everything else.
Oh, also going back to CVP and SVP, what if you see zero print on CVP higher than a zero print on SVP? Which one are you gonna take?
Bro, what?
Okay. Let's say CVP has a zero print at 67.49. Let's say price is above it. Let's say price is currently above it. And then SVP has a zero print at 67.45. And price is currently above the CVP number. Which one are you going to take?
For what purpose?
Am I going long or am I going short?
You're going long.
Then I'm gonna go for the CVP because you said it's at 67.49.
So you're just going with the first one?
Yeah, but keep in mind, this is something Carmine has said too. The zero prints that occur in the real trading, in that, I don't know why I keep saying real, in the regular trading hours are more reliable than the ones that occur in pre-market. Because pre-market volume is just like algos, obviously some retail, but like big hedge funds and stuff like that, they're not really trading in pre-market session. So if you see a zero print in the regular trading hours, that's more reliable than a zero print that you see in pre-market.
All right, well, what if they're both in real time? You're just taking the first one?
I'm I'm trying to think about what you said. I'm focusing more on the CVP zero prints personally.
Now we're going to CVP. Okay, so no SVP.
But it's because of what I just said. It's because regular trading hour zero prints are more valuable than pre-market zero prints.
Yeah, but does SVP not have zero prints on regular trading hours?
They're probably not going to show up because you're also seeing pre-market sessions.
So then how have I been seeing zero prints then?
Because it's coming from from pre-market.
Nah, not all of them. You can't say that.
I mean, unless okay, say right now, this is all the session from 67.56 to 67.43. If price pre-market hasn't gone below this, right?
Right.
So unless market right now at this exact moment heavily drops under this, like an aggressive drop, and now you see a zero print, that didn't happen in pre-market. That happened in current session. But the reason you see it is
It's
because
because
there's
there's
no
no
value.
value. Yes, I
Exactly.
get it.
So you're gonna see that on CVP also.
But I've seen news candles create zero prints.
But was there any volume prior to that?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't paid attention.
See?
All right, I'll come back to you on that next week.
Just don't overcomplicate it.
But that's what I do.
Gabe, let me explain how trading works. It's like
Buy low, sell high. I tell you what to do. I need all the questions answered.
damn, how many shits are you taking, bro? Look at these. Your mom must have came in and like bumped your desk right there.
I don't know how that occurred.
Your mom must have checked in on you and bumped your desk right there where that little.
Dude, man, I just need to understand this shit.
Fuck this day.
Why are we still on this day? This is like low volume.
I don't have the right.
I thought you were going to show us something.
Eloy needs to explain his whatever he said.
I get it now, guys. After Friday, I was like, oh, and it just made sense.
I really do want to know what that number signifies. So,
can you open?
It's hot. It's talking too much.
Pew, pew, pew.
24. This is when the week starts to get interesting.
Yeah.
fuck this week.
If you want to go to my screenshot, where is it? Damn, I was on one. It was on the 24th, towards the end of the day. Not the first one you see. Keep going. Not that one. Oh,
This one?
Yeah, that first one. And then the bias was a post that Eric posted the night prior.
Dude, you can't rely on Eric so much.
I didn't rely on him. He posted if you zoom down, but you haven't clicked on the photo, the third photo there is what Eric posted.
I don't know. I feel like every time Eric says something, you
but
take
that
a
was
trade
it
based
wasn't
off
even
that.
okay. Eric didn't say it. Eric copied and pasted someone else's quote.
What am I?
Yeah, click on that one. All right, so
he arrowed it.
So that whole box of volume from the bars right there, to me, that was the strong seller presence. It ate through all the limit orders. It ate through that support, the demand box. And then it didn't just like tap outside the box. It went, I forgot how many points, but I counted it like 5 more points. And to me, all that volume became the highest volume, 1800, throughout the whole session. And so that just stood out to me. And so as you see, we're trying to get back into the box at that same price where it dropped the heaviest, is the same price where it keeps rejecting. Like it goes up. That first one was the most aggressive buy up and then fail. And then if you move forward, where I have the yellow, the lower lows, signs of rejection, it wasn't like the typical confirmations we look for when we do the absorption into demand. It was more of like a retest of this support turned resistance to me. But yeah, the heavy volume sellers just became the key area once I realized that that zone wasn't strong enough.
This this here that you're talking about, this strong seller presence, is exactly what I was talking about that stood out to me because I remember I had mentioned Gabriel said he would target the 4 hour supply up above. And then I said there is heavy sellers at 67.12, 67.18. And one thing this Carmine does this when he finds key levels intraday. And I realized this is a key part of how he locates his key levels. What time did that shit appear? The intraday key levels. Strong selling presence at 6:45. But you have to be cautious of. Okay, so here. Damn, I don't have my zone mark.
It's between 67.13 and 67.17.
I wish I would just save it. Gosh.
Yeah, dude. That's...
Just one slight update. That's all I need.
And 67, like 12 and a half. Between 12 and 13.
Okay, so right here already we see that a heavy seller appears at around 67.17. So obviously here I'm looking for an absorption to go long, and it never occurs.
I actually took
So
a loss long right here at 47. I try to go long, but TBD was not in my favor. Volume shift was not in my favor. That was a dumb trade.
and it aggressively sells off underneath. And now to me, I was like, okay, what's a area of resistance to the upside that the market needs to break to keep going up? Because I was still like, oh, it could probably recapture up here and then go long if it were if this was just like a stop hunt. So right here, when it was around right here, I was looking at volume and I was like, oh shit, there's an aggressive sell here and like some really aggressive selling here. So I kind of like just moved my cursor up to see around what price it was, and it was 67.12. And then I went to this volume bar and I was like 67.1793 it says. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just say 67.18. So to me, this 67.12, 67.18 was a wall of resistance that I was like, if the market can't break above this, then there's going to be no way the market keeps rallying. So what I was asking ChatGPT, what about this short here makes this setup valid? And it said that it was the fact that that same thing I just said, the large wall of sellers here at 67.18 and the large wall of sellers here at 67.12. But I was like, why did Carmine keep trying to short in this 67, like he tried to short like at 67.16, and then he tried another one like at around that same area, and he tried another one at 67.12. But the one at 67.12 he broke even. And then it kept and then it finally sold off. But ChatGPT said with this setup, you have to be very cautious of not taking the short in the middle of the range. You want to take it on the edges. So either 67.12 rejects, and that's where you can get short, or that 67 18 area rejects and you take it short. You never want to take it in the middle of this range because you could get chopped up exactly how it happened here. This was just all chopped the whole time until it finally tests that 67.18 area and the rejection finally happened.
Dude, that is such a fucking gem.
Right? I was like, whoa, this is powerful because here now this is still a key level. It's still a demand zone that was there, and it's still an area where a lot of action was occurring. But you got to know where that wall is that price wants to reject.
Dude, that is gonna help me so much.
And to me, like, I obviously like there's gonna if I see this happen again, there's gonna be an emotional side of me that's gonna want to take the short. I mean, you guys could do it if you guys want. I'm personally gonna still keep journaling the setups because I really want to understand. Like, okay, is this a? I mean, ChatGPT says it's repeatable, but I want to see with my own journal and data that it is a repeatable thing. So if I do see this again, I want to make sure that it's testing those edges, and that's where the rejection occurs. I don't
But
want to see it work in the middle because then that's going to just cause confusion for me.
that makes sense though. It's on the edges of the consolidation. It's not really consolidating, but it's at the edges of the extremes. Like
Yeah,
the bottom level will be the bottom of the base candle where the supply starts. And then the top
exactly.
level will be retesting the outlier in your key zone.
Mm.
Because
Yep.
remember, your key level isn't just one number, it's a whole zone. So it could happen around any of those parts.
See, and this is where Carmine got short on this rejection here. It was aggressive selling into his wall of resistance, and he tried it short here. But I mean, obviously, I wasn't paying attention to shorting this because it wasn't what I was looking at that moment. But I wouldn't want to do it here just yet. It could work. Like, it obviously could sell off crazy here, but I wouldn't want to do it yet because it's just not that edge yet. So that's what you really have to be careful with in these setups is that you're not like jumping the gun or you're gonna
Wait,
miss the trade and you just have to accept it.
are you talking about longs or shorts?
Shorts.
Uh,
Because 67.18 is that wall.
So
That
I just consumed a lot of what you said. I'm trying to like make sense of it. So right there was that aggressive buy back into the box. The
yeah.
Okay, and then you're saying it's not best to take trades within the box because we're still testing like this possible support turn resistance. But when we're doing trades like this and just our regular supply and demand boxes, uh, unless the limit orders show up, you wouldn't take it in the middle of the range, right? And like in this part, there, like I don't know why he got in because there's no limit orders there.
Yeah. You're right. I wouldn't if this were flipped and this was a supply zone, I still wouldn't take it because I mean there is a limit order here, but to me I still want to be like, okay, let sellers show their presence and then a pop up again to test those limit orders and then fall.
what I would want for it to do was break above VWAP a little bit and then come get sold into.
Which it did do.
Oh, it did? Oh,
Where I got in. To me, the bias was created when not only did it break through the support box, but it like broke through it by like 6 points, and obviously the heavy aggression. So I was just more like, oh,
The whole thing
go ahead.
the whole thing that was key to me here was that we had aggressive selling here and we had aggressive selling here.
I like that.
If it tests one of these zones, one of these edges, which I figured the edge out by looking at the highest volume in this area, which was this bar right here. And then I just put my cursor of that bar and seeing where that was, and that was about 67.12. Then I went to this higher bar, and I was like, okay, that's at 67. Right here it says 67.18. So those are my two edges that I want to see price come and reject that.
And the cool thing is, if you're in this rally, or if you're looking at this rally and you want to take it at 67.18 and you miss it, you can still let it break underneath and then buy into the 67.12 and still get yourself a good entry.
Yep. And that's what Carmine did, but you also got to be cautious of like he got stopped at break even because he got in a 67.12, I think like right here, and then it popped up on these wicks, stopped him out at break even, or no, he got in like on these wicks, and then a 67.12 on the rejection, popped up and stopped him out at break even, and then it sold off.
Is there anything wrong
So
with this theory? Like that first buy up and then it reversed, that little green spike right there. Like, what if you kind of make that your entry? Well, there's no confirmations to make that your short because of the volume buying up right there. But can you see that as the aggressive buy into supply if you've developed
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then,
yeah,
but
I
at
mean
this,
you definitely could enter here and then set your stop above 18, so you still have that wiggle room, but your probabilities of it working out are slimmer because it still may want to test that 18.
yeah, it's like now I got to understand what testing zones looks like. Even though we've been studying what absorption in zones look like. Like, what does it look like
But
when
that is also why I'm saying I don't want to take the trades right now because I'm still working on mastering absorption. So I don't want to like get myself confused with trying to take trades on another setup that when I haven't even mastered the absorption setup yet. This is just something that I noticed and I'm like, okay, moving forward, I'm going to start journaling it. And yesterday, I this same thing occurred at even you mentioned it, Ela. You said uh the same thing that happened yesterday occurred, but you didn't know the setup or something like that. Um but one thing that I gotta look at where it occurred. But one thing that I didn't like about it yesterday was that all the selling, you know how here you can distinctively see the edges by the volume here because there's aggressive selling here, aggressive selling here. But yesterday, the way the volume was, it was very like even. There wasn't like significant selling on one end and significant selling on another end, so I couldn't figure out where the edges were exactly. And I was like, okay, in this case, I wouldn't want to use that as a potential setup. Unless it significantly shows me like, okay, this is where the selling was and this is where the selling was. Now I have two edges to form my range. If it's like very like I don't even like just a bunch of selling in one area and I can't define the edges, I'd rather just pass up the move.
that edges thing is like a new gem right now. Like when you look at the volume too, it's like that's a way to create that.
Yeah. And that's what I've realized, like, because the same thing, I look at Carmine come up with levels intraday, and I'm like, how the fuck is he finding these levels? And I thought it was footprint chart, and it probably is, but we're seeing the same thing he's seeing, just that we have to see it through these bars.
And then
And that's why
memorize it.
when when I pointed this out and then I seen Carmine took the trades in this area, I was like, "Oh shit, that's how he does it." Just that he was willing to take it inside the range, and when I asked ChatGPT about it, it said, "Be careful of taking it inside unless it hits those edges." And then you can see
Yeah, you
it
guys.
eventually does.
The most before we get a bunch of data on it, the most I can see it helping is like not getting stop hunts.
Yeah, I
As
would.
far as when you try it,
Yeah, because I would want to try it around like the middle part before the actual rally, because I would be thinking this was the rally.
yeah.
So I would be like, okay, it hasn't even tested the top part yet. So let's see if it gets there. And then you don't take a trade until it hits that, and you either take it there or you wait till it gets down to the lower edge.
You guys would love my risk to reward ratio on this. It was 1 to 10.
Really?
Yeah, I made my entry 18 and my stop like above the limit orders, which was 19.
Damn, dude. That is a good trade.
So here's the push into the top of that selling, aggressive buying. It's still the same concept, aggressive. Oh, but one other thing that it does mention about these setups is you're not going to see the same kind of volume shift as you do with absorption
Yeah.
because it said it's buyers failing. You're not necessarily looking for the same kind of confirmations because here you want the buyers to dry up and then you're going to just get a quick fast sweep down. So that's also one thing to be cautious of.
I always revert back to that book you recommended me, Gabe, where the guy, it's a short book, but it's the one thing I took away from it is like once you understand the direction, and the direction doesn't have to mean long term. It could be like, oh, what's this 5 minute direction right now, or what's this 30 minute direction right now, and there's different ways of figuring that out. And that to me, it was like it breaking through the support, and I'm like, oh, I think we're in a downward direction if it broke the only support available. I just don't know how to feel convicted that it's gonna reach the next uh like go back to the 45 minute that it did, like how it got back there.
See right here, I based on what the way I trade absorption, I wouldn't even want to take this because look at how much value got bought up. And if I was thinking absorption wise, I would want to see aggressive selling be my signal to enter. And here it was just aggressive buying, and then it just instantly dries up and the selling just takes over. And then it just falls. So that's also why I don't want to take these setups yet because I don't want to jump the gun and not. I just don't want to get confused with my setups. So I'm. That's why I said moving forward, I'm just going to keep journaling this so that I get used to what the confirmations are because I don't fully know the confirmations yet.
I think there's similar confirmations to the supply and demand setup. It's just like a few things that need to be tweaked when it
Yeah,
happens.
definitely. We're still looking at CVD, we're still looking at volume, we're still looking at the aggression, but I personally, for my absorption setup, need to see that volume shift, and the volume shift isn't going to be the same. And see, like here, what would throw me off is like CVD's trying to make a higher high, but the move already occurred.
We zoom out, what does CBD look like zoomed out?
Oh yeah, that was one thing. It made a higher low on the zoomed out version. That was another key thing.
I wonder if that. I mean,
So not only did it resist this, what does that arrow mean? Not only did it resist the 6718, but when it got up here, CVD couldn't really make a higher high.
and then look at how zoomed out you are. Look at that 3,000 by the volume. That 3,000 number on the. That's it right there.
So that's just something to think about as honestly, I would suggest journaling it before taking the trade. I mean, Eloy's in demo, so I don't think it really matters, but
Whoa.
At least for my live reading, I wouldn't want to put risk on it yet.
I mean, with these 1 to 10 RRs, bro, it's in the bank.
What do you think, Gabriel?
I think I don't know what I think.
Like,
Right
would
now,
you take the trade if it occurred tomorrow or
like
Monday?
right there, no. At the 18 level, no way.
I'll be the guinea pig.
Because you still need your confirmations. This is just new data we have. You still need your actual confirmations to appear.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm not
Because
comfortable with it.
now you're just taking a different kind of setup if you're not counting those confirmations.
Exactly. I 1000% agree.
So like for this trade, I put my green flags and my red flags. I guess the more if I continue to try to take this setup in practice in demo mode, I'll keep looking if my red flags continue to be the same because it's in the second picture where I put the red flags. Uh, the other one underneath, like the volume shift and the CVD are opposite of what we're used to seeing, and I just wonder. I guess if we take this type of setup, is it going to be like an opposites thing, where if you're taking an absorption into demand or supply, it's going to look different if you're retesting like a broken zone.
Well, first of all, the volume is probably one of the most important things for me for a trade. If
Yeah,
there's no volume shift, there's no trade.
In the setup
I
we're
think
used to seeing.
Yeah, in our setups absorption.
So yeah, I'm just wondering.
But
Go ahead.
but even with any setup, you need volume for the trade to keep going.
look at
That's
here's
true.
what ChatGPT said because I asked it about the confirmations. The real confirmation first for this setup, confirmation isn't big red volume. It's context and failed reclaim. Price can't break back above broken demand. Buyer aggression shows weakness, no expansion. Then sellers step in enough to reject price. That's repeatable. You don't need massive red circles every time. The lack of buyer follow through is the edge.
Mm.
But Gabriel's right. This is a completely different setup, so the confirmations are going to be different, and that's why I said I was almost hesitant of even bringing it up because I didn't want to confuse you because I know Gabriel's like super focused on the absorption, so I was like I don't want to bring it up, and then he starts getting confused with the confirmations. But I like that you pointed out that like your confirmation being key is the volume shift for absorption.
Also, keep in mind we are now in a longer term downtrend.
Mm.
Would you guys? Well, no, it went back up actually. But keep in mind, like when we were in the downtrend, uh, you're gonna see similar setups appear that are different. But once the downtrend stops, those setups aren't gonna come around as much. So just keep
That's
that in
true.
mind.
But
It just
say
keep. Okay.
say the market now moving forward where we start trending upward again, Eloy, you might be seeing this a break under demand, but if the buyers are in control, then those retests of that resistance may not work the same way because
Yeah,
where
it's not gonna be as strong.
buyers are pushing.
So keep in mind, coming in this week, we are now back above resistance or testing resistance. So if it breaks above, those setups might not appear as much because now buyers are in control. I'm looking at the 90.
I haven't opened Thinkorswim, it's loading. That's why I find it very dangerous for me to try implementing other setups because like I said earlier, I'm trying to master absorption, and this is where I want you to really understand, Eloy. Like, understand the setup that you're taking. Like, give it a name, label what the confirmations are, what it is you need to see, so that when you journal it, like you know exactly what setups you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've realized recently you've been saying, I think I saw something, so I tried it. And that's
Yeah,
you don't want to trade off of what you're thinking. You want to trade off of what you know and are currently in the moment seeing.
I also noticed that you were seeing stuff right as the downtrends were happening. I was like, oh, he's just seeing a downtrend market. But now the market looks like it wants to shift back up. So just keep in mind those setups might not appear, and if they do appear, they might be less reliable
I
because the market
realized
is.
though, Eloy likes to short, and and I like to long.
We're both
So,
overcompensating.
but
So it's
yeah,
gonna be Eric's.
look at the mark like on the larger time frame. We're still buyers are still in control. We never broke beneath the FOMC low here. So
Yeah, I'm
and
talking
then
about the intraday.
we got this massive rally. So like, yeah, we did sell off for 3 days, but in general, buyers are still in control.
Yes.
And VX was going up all week too.
Oh, that was another thing that what's his name? Dylan had mentioned VXB25. Look at how the VX made this high here, broke this high here, and then broke this high here. These were the 3 days we sold off, and then it failed to break those highs again, and then we rallied.
Yep.
So VX is signaling us right now that buyers are in control because it's
That's
not breaking above this.
that's why I knew it was gonna go. VX was gonna not break above or whatever because it kept getting rejected. I kept saying that. That yesterday's highs area it rejected 3 times, so that was a
Yeah.
strong zone.
This helped me get long yesterday too, because I was hesitant on that 45-minute demand. Um, but what are we on right now? This is the 24th.
Yeah, I'm gonna end this video.
Did I take a trade this